Hey y'all, it's Livy Redden. Welcome back to Today is the Future. I just got back from my therapist mandated walk. If your therapist tells you to do those and you are not doing them, I get it. I understand. And do them. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Take the walks. Start once a week. Do it once a week every Wednesday. They're very helpful. Very, very helpful. And I don't know. The further I've gotten into my healing journey, tried a lot of different healing modalities, the more I'm anchored in that self care, self maintenance, mood, or sort of a self regulation has become very commercialized and commodified. And it's really, and we know this, it's really the simplest of things. And if you're not hitting the basics, start with the basics: a good night's sleep, a daily walk, a vegetable even. It's those things, and I get it. It's hard to it's like the whole journey of your 20s is um it's just like the balance of figuring out how to take care of yourself. Like it's like, you go to your friends and you're like, I have gotten a good night's sleep 3 days in a row, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, yay! It's like we're celebrating each other for doing the basics, but it's like at the same time, uh, we this is the first time in a long time where society as a whole, I'm talking from a United States perspective, has really prioritized um these sort of things. So it's like the abandoning of one's body and one's mental health has been, we've always done that. So the shift is like not that, like the shift is recent. So at the same time, this is like, we're shifting a lot of from a lot of centuries of self-abandonment. So we could really get into that. But what I actually want to talk to you about today is stop stop waiting for permission. And I think when it comes to giving or not giving ourselves permission to do things, it's not so much consciously we're like, yeah, I won't do that thing or wear that thing or say that thing or be that thing. It's more so that the the world, and in turn ourselves, has not given us permission to do that, and therefore we're almost not conscious to the fact that it could be any different. Like, I think so much of our subconscious limiting beliefs and things we don't give ourselves permission to do, it's often sort of described as like, well, then just give yourself permission to do it. But so often we aren't even really aware that things could be done differently, because that's all we know, especially when we're younger, children, teens, in our 20s. Um, and so it really is this sort of journey of self-reflection and self-discovery. And the reason why I've been thinking about this a lot is the DMs I get about me talking about my height, um, and being a 6 foot tall woman, and the girls that come up to me after I do in person speaking, and to see a woman on stage, not just a woman, but a tall woman, 6'3" in her heels on stage, speaking with a poise and a confidence that sometimes it feels like the world would prefer you not to do as a woman. And um and so this whole episode will be about, I just want to talk about providing yourself for permission and reflecting on the areas you have not not done that. Whether, kind of like I said, whether that is like starting a business or something more like things you want to wear that you don't allow yourself to wear, or things you want to go do that you're waiting for someone to go to do with you, when it's like maybe just go do that thing alone, or posting videos online, whatever it looks like, whatever sort of form of self-expression and self-joy you want to embark in. I think it's very relevant to all those things. And it just had me thinking about this because I was thinking about these comments and these DMs I get about being a tall woman. Um, and I have a lot of other girls in their 20s or teenagers that will send me DMs about how it really helps them when I talk about my height. And the things I love about being tall. And actually, I don't think a lot of people realize um how much being tall like has formed who I am. Um because to get into the feminism patriarchy of it all, when you are like a from a childhood age, like kindergarten, and then around like first grade, when you start kind of noticing the, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that thing, girls don't do that thing. And it relates to boys too. You're a boy, you don't do that thing. um Boys don't do that, so you shouldn't do that, and if you do that, you're weird. And um I just remember, just like from a young age, like I think I became cognizant of it probably around first grade, that I was something that the world traditionally did not want me to be, and it was completely out of my control. I just happened to always be taller than everybody around me. And um I think from a young age, I noticed that, and I kind of decided that the world, I knew, like I got stared at my entire life, childhood, teenager. Like I would enter a room and I just remember constantly being stared at, and it wasn't always a bad thing. Like people weren't always looking at me like judgmentally, but you're not used to seeing a woman that tall, or a young woman that tall. Like people look. um and so I just remember, like from a very young age, being like, people are going to look at me, and therefore I am going to give them something to look at, and I don't care. And you know, in my in my silence when I was alone, I don't really think that there was ever a time in my life where I like resented my height or didn't want to be tall. Um but uh I definitely noticed that if I was shorter and more like quote normal, like the girls around me, my friends, it would probably make my life easier. Um Whether that was, finding clothes that fit me, or uh dating. I mean, I had in high school, when boys are telling you I date you if you were shorter, it's not a great feeling. But I was also lucky to have a family that really instilled confidence in me as well, and I knew it didn't have anything to do with me. I did recognize that as a teenager, um, and as a like a preteen. And also it's like there were so many experiences where, like, I'm standing in the hallway speaking with my friends, and I'm like a head taller than all of them, and I'm just like not as a part of the conversation as the rest of them, because I'm not like, we're not really making eye to eye contact, and like I'm dancing with my friends, like we're at a school dance or something, and they're all talking and I can't hear them because I'm like a head or two taller than them. And I just like I don't know, like there were things like that where it was just kind of like it's not the end of the world, but I just remember just kind of being like, it would make my life easier if I just, you know, if we shrunk down a little bit. Um, and yeah, I think I enjoyed my height, but I never accentuated it. Um, I really stayed away from like any sort of heel. Even if a shoe had a little bit too much of a platform, I wouldn't buy it. And I have a size 11, so it's like my most women's shoes cut off at a size 10. So it was already hard for me to find shoes, and then on top of that, I wouldn't buy anything with a platform or a heel, even like a small boot heel. So, and I didn't like wearing sandals because in like third grade, um, I got made fun of for my long ass toes, so I didn't wear sandals again until I was about 18. Unless I was like on vacation with my family. And so it was just things like that. And so and all that to say, my entire life, people were telling me not to buy heels. They said, girls like you don't wear heels. And then when I was 17 and I started modeling, for people to then start telling me, girls like you wear 4-inch heels, was such a mind fuck and so formative of really at the like at 17 grasping the concept of of if the people around you don't currently celebrate you, live unabashedly, and communities that will find you. And it was just it and I speak about this story particularly because it was just my height was just like such early on like formative experience of realizing this concept uh it of questioning what I have been told I am and not allowed to do, and where I stop myself from doing and not doing things. And really, because like at that time when I'm not allowing myself to buy a 2-inch heel on a boot, it didn't even really occur to me that like maybe I could. Like I just was kind of like, well, this is how I've always done it, and therefore, I can't buy those things. Um, and uh, it's all contextual. It's really just like I want to. This is a reminder that the things people tell you that you can and cannot do is has nothing to do with you. And it's crazy the things that we don't do because the world decided for us that we couldn't. And then we never questioned it or never thought that we could. And I would prompt you to heavily question what the world has made you decide that you can and cannot do, and were they accurate? And I would say usually not. Usually not. Because the human's capacity to expand and to grow and to develop um, is really fascinating and impressive. Like our minds and our bodies are so smart, intellectual, divine, like really incredible, our ability to adjust um and it's just like, and even more than that, it's just so unserious. Like it really doesn't matter. And at the end, no one will really care what you did or did not do, but you will be the one dying with regret. Bum, bum, bum. I know that's really dark, but yeah. But yeah. um so take having fun and taking risk and being a weirdo seriously, because life is so unserious. It's so unserious. And have fun. Like, do the things that you want to do, because ultimately it's you that that lives with what you did and did not do. Outside of, obviously, if you're harming people, don't hurt people. Okay, I'm gonna put that disclaimer in there. I feel like I, probably don't need to say that, but I will just in case. So that was sort of the core thing I wanted to give a little reminder about today, was to stop waiting for permission. Do the thing. Do the thing. And if it's scary and if it's uncomfortable and if you worry what people will think of you, I would encourage you to be yourself, and the world's perception of you will catch up. All you have to do is start doing it, and the world will catch up. And so I hope that this helped you self-reflect, because it's really not about me telling you my story or my experiences. I'm hoping that I can prompt self-reflection on your end, and also let you know that I back you in doing that, and the right people will as well. Will back you in the way that you, and be inspired by the way that you show up with courage. And there's a quote I've shared before that I really love. And it's the idea of, for the people that worry that their authentic selves are too much, that their enthusiasm for self-expression and for life is too much, the quote of, enthusiasm is a form of social courage. For you to step out of the house and act, speak, and think in a way that is unabashedly the way that you would like to show up, is an act of courage that is noticed and inspiring to the people around you. And there's a power in that, and there's a ricochet effect in that. And you do not realize that the way that you doing that does not just affect the joy and fulfillment that your life contains, but dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of the people that you interact with. That as you free yourself, you are simultaneously freeing others. And so this is not just about us as individuals, but it's about an unshackling of the collective, and how much more fun that makes life when we are continuing to become freer as a people. And I just love you so much, and I hope that this will prompt you to whatever little thing that comes to mind, to be that and do that and to embody that, and take on that form of social courage. So have a great day. I have a great interview that is going to be posted next week or the following week. I'm not sure. I can't remember. So watch out for that. I got some great interviews coming up. And if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I post all the videos. I personally really like watching a podcast. So if you want to go subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch these, and sometimes I kind of have like I have things you need to see to make the podcast make more sense. So video is helpful that way. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link to it is in the show notes, or you can just go onto YouTube, search Livy Redden. And of course, if anything ever resonates or you want to reach out to me, the best way to do that is either my text community. You can join the text community. I send out little reminders once or twice a week, just to help you keep going, help you self-reflect. And you can send a text to to the phone number that's in the show notes and text the word growth, or just send me a question or feedback on the episode. And you'll be opted into those. You could also just shoot me a DM on Instagram. So have a lovely day, and we'll talk soon.